I didn't come to Seoul looking for love. I came for work, a contract, a clean win, then back home. That's what I told myself because it's easier to believe your life is predictable when you need the money to make sense. But the night I first met Kang Ji-hoon, I learned something important. In Seoul, the most dangerous things don't shout. They don't chase. They don't rush. They wait. Quietly. And they watch. I remember stopping under a streetlight, pretending to check my phone, and realizing the footsteps behind me stopped too. Like whoever was behind me didn't want to be seen. That was the first sign. And I ignored it. Incheon Airport smelled like polished floors and expensive perfume. Everything moved with quiet purpose, people gliding instead of rushing, voices low, efficient. This time felt different from my last visit to Seoul. Because this time, I wasn't a tourist. I was here because of an email with only 3 lines. We need you in Seoul. High-profile negotiation. Do not discuss this contract with anyone. No signature. No greeting. Just instruction. I should have asked more questions. Instead, I followed the instructions. Outside the terminal, a black sedan waited exactly where the message said it would be. The driver opened the door before I reached it. He didn't ask my name. He didn't smile. He already knew. As we drove into the city, Seoul rose around us, glass towers, glowing signs, bridges stretching over dark water like veins. I watched my reflection in the window, calm face, controlled posture. But my instincts were unsettled. Hanul Group headquarters didn't feel like a company. It felt like a system. Everything was space and silence. Dark wood, muted light, no clutter. Security that blended into corners like part of the architecture. A woman approached me, late 20s, tablet in hand, expression neutral. My name is Soo Min, she said. Please follow me. She didn't shake my hand. Didn't ask about my flight. She walked like she expected obedience and received it. She led me down a corridor lined with glass offices. People glanced up, bowed slightly to her, then returned to their screens. We stopped at a conference room. Inside, a long table stretched under soft lighting. The air felt heavy, like decisions had weight here. Sumin slid a folder toward me. You will translate and advise on tone, she said, not just language. Who is the client? I asked. Her eyes flickered for half a second. Chairman Kang. Kang Ji-hoon. Not just a CEO. A man whose name moved people before he entered rooms. I opened the folder and my chest tightened. Contracts, profiles, financials. And then, a page that didn't belong. My name. My work history. Cities I'd lived in. Speaking engagements. Even a seminar I gave years ago. They hadn't hired me. They studied me. This is very detailed, I said carefully. We do not bring strangers into Chairman Kang's room, Soo-min replied. Room, not meeting. She slid a non-disclosure agreement across the table. Read, sign, then wait. When the door opened again, I felt it before I saw him. Conversation inside my head stopped. Soo-min straightened. Security outside the glass wall shifted their attention. Kang Ji-hoon walked in. He didn't rush. Didn't greet. Didn't acknowledge the room. He moved like everything would wait for him if needed. Dark suit, perfect fit, no jewelry, no wasted motion. He sat at the head of the table, placed a file down, then finally looked at me. Not with interest. With verification. Miss Carter, he said. His English was flawless, not accented, not soft, carefully learned. You were recommended as unshakable. That depends on the situation, I replied. Something almost amused passed behind his eyes. Good, he said, because this situation will test that. He slid the file toward me. If this deal fails, he continued, what do you lose? Not we. You. If it fails, I lose time, I said. Maybe reputation, but I don't lose sleep. His gaze sharpened. Then you are not attached, he said. Should I be? I asked. Attachment makes people careless. That's when I noticed his right hand resting near the table edge, alert, like he expected interruption. A man used to danger. Sumin tapped her tablet. The partners arrive in 30 minutes. Then we begin, Ji-hoon said. He stood to leave, then paused. One more thing, he said, looking at me. Yes? Do not walk alone at night while you are in Seoul. Is that a suggestion? I asked. It is instruction. Then he left, and the room felt colder. The meeting itself was a performance. Executives smiled too widely. Lawyers spoke in circles. Trust pretended to exist. Ji-hoon barely spoke, but when he did, people leaned in like gravity changed. He watched everything. Hands, pauses, reactions. At one point, someone laughed too loudly at a joke that wasn't funny. Ji-hoon didn't laugh. The man stopped laughing instantly. After hours, the deal paused on a polite note. When everyone left, Ji-hoon stayed at the window, looking down at Seoul. You noticed it, he said without turning. Noticed what? I asked. Someone came to watch me, not negotiate. Who? I asked. If I knew, he said, they'd already be gone. Then he looked at me. Where are you staying? Gangnam, I replied. Why? Change it, tonight. I don't take orders about my personal life, I said. This isn't personal, he replied. It's proximity. Proximity to you? Yes. That word stayed with me. Visible. That night, I left a cafe near my hotel. Seoul was beautiful rain reflecting neon, couples sharing umbrellas, food stalls steaming. Then I felt it. The awareness of not being alone. I slowed. The footsteps slowed. I stopped. They stopped. A man stood near a vending machine, cap low, mask on. Too deliberate. I crossed the street. He crossed later. I turned into a dimmer alley. Mistake. His footsteps grew closer. He reached out. Then a car door slammed. 2 men grabbed him effortlessly. Another man approached me. Miss Carter, he said calmly. I'm Park, head of security. Security for who? I asked. He nodded toward a black car with its headlights off. The window lowered. Kang Ji-hoon sat inside, eyes steady. Get in, he said. No. This is not the moment to prove independence, he replied. I got in. Inside the car, rain tapped against the roof. You followed me, I said. I protected you. That's not the same thing. It is when someone wants access to you. Access for what? To reach me. So this is because of you. Yes. Then you hired me knowing this could happen. I hired you because you were necessary. And my safety? He paused. Your safety is now my responsibility. His phone buzzed. He tilted the screen toward me. They know where she sleeps. My stomach dropped. Someone accessed my file. Inside his company. You wanted a clean contract, he said quietly. You walked into a war. That was when fear arrived. Not panic. Realization. Seoul wasn't just touching my heart anymore. It was closing its hand around it. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was afraid something would happen, but because something already had. Once you realize you're being watched, rest feels irresponsible. The city outside the window of Kang Ji-hoon's residence looked unreal. Seoul stretched below us in layers of light and movement, like nothing bad was allowed to exist here. But I knew better now. People with power don't live above danger. They live inside it. The building we arrived at didn't have a sign. No logo. No welcome. Just a silent entrance, guards that didn't look curious, and doors that closed too smoothly. Park escorted me inside without asking questions. This will be temporary, he said, until we understand who accessed your file. Temporary sounded like a lie dressed as comfort. Ji-hoon didn't speak while we moved through the building. He walked slightly ahead, phone in hand, posture controlled. When we entered the apartment, it felt more like a command center than a home. Everything was intentional. Nothing sentimental. Clean surfaces, neutral colors, windows that didn't fully open. He finally turned to me. "You should not have gone out alone." "I won't apologize for existing," I replied. Something tightened briefly in his jaw. "I didn't ask for an apology," he said. "I asked for compliance." That word hit wrong. I crossed my arms. "Then you shouldn't have hired someone who doesn't belong to your world." He studied me for a long moment. "That is exactly why I hired you." Silence settled between us, not awkward, but sharp. Then he spoke again, quieter. "You are not the target," he said. "You are leverage." My stomach turned. "You're saying someone followed me to get to you?" "Yes." "And the message?" I asked. "They already knew where I lived." He looked away. "That information was accessed internally." That was worse. Jihoon didn't leave after that. Neither did I. We existed in the same space, but not together. He worked from a desk near the window, phone calls in low Korean I wasn't meant to understand. I sat on the couch pretending to scroll while listening anyway. Every so often, Park would enter with updates. Access logs, names, partial truths. No one confessed. No one was caught. By morning, Seoul was awake again, and nothing felt safer. Days passed like that. Guarded. Controlled. We moved only when necessary. I accompanied Jihoon to meetings, now flanked by security that didn't pretend to be invisible. People noticed. Whispers followed. I became visible in a different way. He never touched me. Never raised his voice. Never softened his tone. But he watched. Not like a man watching a woman. Like a man tracking risk. And slowly, something changed. I noticed it first in the small things. The way he positioned himself slightly in front of me when elevators opened. How he waited until I sat before sitting himself. How his eyes searched rooms before finding mine. It wasn't affection. It was protection that had started asking permission. The first time he asked instead of decided, it surprised both of us. We were in the car, traffic stalled, rain falling gently against the windows. "Do you trust my driver?" he asked suddenly. I blinked. "I don't know him." He nodded. "That's not an answer." I thought about it. "He hasn't given me a reason not to," I said. Jihoon looked forward again. "That will do." That was the moment I realized something dangerous. He was letting me matter. The betrayal came quietly. As betrayals always do. We were reviewing documents late one night, just the two of us at the table, city humming beyond the glass. Jihoon's phone buzzed. He checked it once. Then again. His expression didn't change, but the air did. "Park," he said into the phone. "Lock the lower floors." I straightened. "What's happening?" He didn't answer immediately. Then, someone authorized a transfer under my credentials. My pulse jumped. "You didn't approve it?" "No." "That means..." "They had access," he finished, enough to imitate me. I stood. "So at times is times someone close?" "Yes." "And they know I'm here?" That wasn't a question. He met my eyes. "Yes." Before I could react, the lights flickered. Just once. Then the building alarms didn't sound, which somehow felt worse. Jihoon moved instantly. "Stay with me," he said. Not an order. A choice. And I followed. We didn't run. We moved efficiently. Security filled hallways, doors sealed, elevators locked. But danger doesn't always need entry points. Sometimes it comes from expectation. The service corridor lights dimmed unexpectedly. I felt it then, that quiet tightening in my chest. Jihoon slowed, placing himself slightly ahead of me. That was when a shot rang out. Not loud. Suppressed. Controlled. We dropped instinctively. Park's voice barked orders in Korean. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My hands trembled as Jihoon's arm came across me, solid, protective, real. He didn't touch my face. Didn't whisper reassurances. He just stayed. And in that moment, I knew. He would choose danger over distance every time. The threat was neutralized quickly. Too quickly. Like this had been a test. Someone probing for reactions. Afterward, we stood in the silence that followed near disaster. Ji-hoon's hand lingered near mine, not holding, just present. "You should leave Seoul," he said quietly. I laughed once. Not happy, not amused. "And go where?" I asked. "I'm already involved." "You don't understand," he replied. "This ends badly for the people near me." I stepped closer. "Then stop deciding alone." That made him look at me, really look. "For someone who values independence," he said, "you're standing very close to fire." "I grew up learning how not to burn," I replied. For the first time, something broke through his composure. Not fear. Respect. Later that night, I overheard something I wasn't meant to. Ji-hoon was on the phone, voice low. "Yes," he said, "prepare the exit plan." A pause. "No, I go alone." My heart dropped. He was planning to disappear, to protect me by removing himself. It was logical. It was controlled. It was devastating. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Because some truths need timing. And timing, in Seoul, is everything. By the end of the week, everything felt like it was balancing on a thread. Enemies unseen. Trust fractured. Feelings unspoken. But one thing was clear now. Love hadn't made us reckless. Silence had. And someone was counting on it.